Hey y'all, thanks again for bearing with me on the internet outage. We just got a message that we're in this neighborhood out of internet until 7 p.m. But I just drove home from AYC, sitting back down, still in the same clothes, and I'll get this uploaded to you as soon as I can. But let's go over on your sheets. We still have Brahmari, Durga Pranayama, and Samavritti. Brahmari is bee breath. You're making a humming sound, and this is very, very soothing breath. It really helps calm the nervous system for someone who's got a lot of worry or anxiety. You might want to avoid the hand placement for that, but traditionally you're taking the thumbs and you're covering the ear. You're pressing in the flap of the ear, the outer flap, and then you're covering the eyes, and then you're pressing on the cheekbones here with these two fingers, okay? Because you can kind of close your septum a little bit as part of it, as part of the gesture here. And so you place your hands in the traditional thing like this. So this is like the bumblebee, like the stripes of the bumblebee. Close the eyes. And on the exhale, you make a humming sound. I do recommend trying it with the light pressure on the eyes, closing off the ears, and it really is quite, it's like sounding like you're inside of a beehive, frankly, and very soothing. However, again, depending on your audience, it might just be nice to have people close their eyes, soften their gaze, and make the bumblebee sound without. So let's do a round of 6, the hexagonal number for the bee. Here we go. Inhale. Inhale. With the teeth, you can have the jaw just lightly closed. Last one, inhale. Not last one, inhale. Inhale. And last one, now let's do the hand gesture. Why not? Inhale. So again, this pranayama does have a lot of positive effects for a person to help calm the nervous system, worry and anxiety, although covering with the hand gestures can be a little bit triggering if it is for that specific purpose. Again, traditionally, this exercise was used to help actually shake some of the chakras and the little glands and things that are happening up in the skull area, and that humming is supposed to resonate and create a vibratory sound, similar to the idea of the bija pranayama, that the sound you're chanting or singing, here you're humming. Okay, so these pranayamas are about the energetics a lot of times, and then they have these sort of physiological side benefits. The next one is Dirga Pranayama, 3-part breath. I actually think I have a YouTube video for everyone type of thing on a variation of this. 3-part breathing is belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. So it's kind of similar to the Viloma, and they'll sometimes be taught together. These can be blended together, Roger, since you asked about the blending pranayamas. The difference with the Viloma is that you're pausing. So you inhale a little bit, pause, inhale a little bit, pause, inhale. Here, you're inhaling continuously, but the first third of the inhale is to the belly, the second third of the inhale is to the ribs, and the third is to the chest. So I recommend you place a hand on your chest and you place a hand on your belly, and you feel this sort of gradation. You're filling the body up from the bottom to the top, from the belly to the chest, in 3 intervals, 3 chambers. And then when you exhale, you're sending the air from the chest first, then the ribs, then the belly. And the reason it's 3-part breathing like this is because you have 3 lobes of the lungs. You have 2 lungs, and then they're broken into 3 chambers, 3 lobes. So you're filling up the lower lobes, the middle lobes, the upper lobes of the lungs. Then you exhale the upper lobes, the middle, the lower lobes of the lungs. And this corresponds in your anatomy, belly, ribs, chest. Okay? Inhale, you're expanding that part of your body. Exhale, it's sinking back. Let's try some Dirga Pranayamas. Hands can help you create body awareness so that you're feeling the correlation to those 3 chambers. Exhale the air. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. 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 Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, the 3 chambers up. Exhale, down. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Now we'll try it with the Viloma variation added in. The reason is because it's so easy. These 2 are so similar. Many people are even doing it with the Viloma variation without realizing it, where you're actually pausing in the inhalation. But really, Dirga Pranayama, it's a continuous breath. It's just the air goes into the lower lobes first, then the middle, then the upper. Then the air leaves the upper, the middle, and the lower. But it's one long, elongated breath. Viloma has the interruptions, okay? And you could sort of combine them together. Now some of you are like, well, isn't that just Viloma breathing? Isn't Viloma doing? Not necessarily. In Viloma, you're breathing into any part of the lungs you want. Only if you order it from low to high and then from high to low is it the Dirga, okay? So let's just try a couple rounds where we're actually interrupting. exhale the air. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale chest. Exhale chest, exhale ribs, exhale belly. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale chest, exhale chest, exhale ribs, exhale belly. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale chest, exhale chest, exhale ribs, exhale belly. Inhale fully and breathe out. This is blending the two together, and it's a great way to learn Durga Pranayama. The benefits of Durga is many people only breathe into certain chambers of their lungs. They have their priority. This can really help teach a person to breathe, and you can even, in my experience, find areas that even have a little bit of infection still going on. You'll hear like a little bit of wheezing sometimes in a certain part of your lung that you were just avoiding breathing into because that part of your lungs had a little bit of an infection. And so here you're sort of like stimulating blood flow and the oxygenation process into that part of your lung. You can heal traces of latent, really like types of pneumonia, really. Bronchitis is that can get stored in the lung tissue. So really recommend, this one's an excellent one for health benefits, teaching people how to breathe through their whole lung apparatus, and then later learning how to breathe fully through the lungs. You can then start to modulate, where you can then teach people to just breathe in the lower lobes, just breathe in the upper lobes, and this can then help other nervous system issues, help calming and soothing the nervous system when we breathe low, and creating energy by breathing into the upper chambers. So it's a great, to me it's the best one, really, beginner pranayama, because it teaches so much, and it's so healing for the respiratory system to breathe into the entirety of your lungs. Samavritti. This means equal parts, and so here it's just at base level, you're making the inhalation and the exhalation the same length, and so we employ a counting. This is really helpful as also a meditation for people, because they're having to count in their mind and focus. As a matter of fact, I use counting of the breaths a lot of times when I'm training people in a lot of these breaths. So if we were doing the B breath, maybe they're going to exhale for 6 counts, inhale for 6 counts. So there can be some overlap going on here. It's just, have they learned how to count their breath first before I start segueing it into the other practices? But counting the breath, the duration, so it's like inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So specifically what is samavritti is that the inhalation and the exhalation are the same length. What length? That's up to you. When you're teaching people, you can start with 4 if they're brand new to pranayama, or you can start with 6 if they've already have some experience. Then you can challenge them to go to 8. Then you can challenge them to go to 10 seconds. When I teach at the middle school, they love this. They love seeing how long they can lengthen their breath for 10 seconds, inhale and exhale. But you want to bring them up in increments. So maybe start at 4 or 6 and then build your way up. You do not want to struggle. So if you're struggling to do an 8 and 8, bump it back down to 6 and 6. Now, sometimes what starts to happen is you just count. You're not actually counting seconds, you're just counting. So it's the same length of time, and you just put 10 counts into it. The idea is that they're about a second a count, or at least that you're keeping the same pace. And this is starting to slowly stretch the lung tissue over time to have deeper and longer breaths. The regulation of breath they say creates a sattvic state of mind. What if the inhales were longer? Now, many people do have that. They have a longer inhale or a longer exhale. If you intentionally lengthen the inhale, so let's say an 8-second inhale, 6-second exhale, you're upping the nervous system. You're activating the nervous system. This one does have a lot of science, Grace. these are substantiated. And if you exhale longer, so an inhale of 6 and an exhale of 8, that will calm the nervous system with a longer exhale. Just think of even just a little hypothetical. When you picture a person who's very angry, right? They're up, they're rajas, they have a lot of active energy. Their breathing looks like this. Right? They have these short little bursts of exhale and these really big inhales to try to amp themselves up. They're doing it unconsciously. And then on the other end of the spectrum is someone who's very, maybe even depressed. It'll look like this. They'll have a very shallow inhale. And they'll have this long sigh-like exhale. The inhale will be short and the exhale will be long. And because it's bringing energy down. And so, yeah, you don't want to do this to the extremes to create these maybe slightly out of balance emotional states, but for falling asleep at night, you might try a samavritti variation where you're lengthening your exhale slightly. Or if you need to get back to work and you're a little bit tired and sluggish, you might start trying, instead of a midday coffee, you might try a samavritti variation where you increase the inhale slightly. So that's samavritti. Today I'm just going to show you equal counts. And I recommend really practice equal count in the beginning before you start these variations. I just wanted to let you know about that. An intermediate variation of samavritti is breath holding. So you inhale for 4, hold the inhale for 4, exhale for 4, hold the exhale for 4. So we're actually holding the breath at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale for equal parts. 4, 4, 4, 4. I say this is intermediate. I do think you should start practicing it at some point. Maybe we'll even try 1 or 2 rounds today in this video. But if you're going to teach it to your students, just make sure they have some pranayama experience already. Breath holding is, I consider, an intermediate endeavor. So study it yourself before you really start teaching it. And make sure the people you teach it to are ready. Let's do some samavritti. Take a comfortable seat and take a few deep breaths. Let's do 6-second counts. I'm going to keep track. I'll count out loud, and then I'll just be counting internally to myself. That's how I teach it often. I count internally, and I just tell a person when it's time. But you should try counting yourself. You can see if our counts are the same length. Here we go. I'll do some out loud, and then I'll shift to quiet. Keep track for you. Exhale the air. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe normal. We're going to increase to 8 and maybe even a few rounds at 10. If you're noticing difficulty, go back to 6. If it's difficult to continuously exhale all the way for that 8th count, or inhale for that 8th count, you're having to hold your breath. Try elongating the inhale, but it's okay to just bump it back down to 6 seconds and work with where you're comfortable. A few times of working on it at 6, you'll be ready for 8. The lungs transform very quickly when given attention. So I know I'm saying inhale, I'm saying exhale, so you're really getting a 7 count or a 9 count, but I'm going to count to 8. Sit comfortably. Exhale the air. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Internal counts. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going at 8. I'm going to try to 10 internally. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Return to normal breathing. Do train this one. Counting out loud is a great way to start initially because you don't have to do the breathing with them when you're doing the counting. And that could be helpful because if you start doing the breathing with them, well, you'll get a little euphoric from so much oxygenation of the blood through breathing like this. And so you might get a little lightheaded to keep the count. So just practice it before you teach it. And when you do teach it the first times, maybe you're just counting for them, and then you'll learn to breathe with them. I also recommend counting when you teach it and doing a little bit both when you teach, because it will help you calm down. Just some regulated, deep breathing, really helpful as a teacher. Let's just do a round or two of the holding. So we're going to do 4 inhale, 4 count hold, 4 count exhale, 4 count hold, just so you get a little familiarity. Exhale the air. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. hold, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, internal, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and breathe normally. Try this again on your own without my keeping track of the counts. Try to do X number of rounds. Let's say 10 rounds at whatever count, whether it's just inhale, exhale, or with breath retention. Try to do 10 rounds, keeping track of the timing, learning how to develop a steady rhythm. You can see one of my tricks you probably couldn't see, but I know you couldn't see, but you could hear maybe I was tapping my thigh with my index finger. And that's one of the tricks I use to make sure I keep a steady count. There's like a little bit of a beat there. And that's how I find my rhythm for when I keep track for my students when I lead these pranayamas. Okay, so that finishes our sequence here of the beginner pranayamas. Please choose one of them, or one of the ones that we were able to do live and in person, Ujjayi, Viloma, and Bija. We did briefly touch on Satali. Those are the beginner pranayamas. I recommend picking one of these for your final flows. Not required. You're welcome to just teach breathing however you want. Teach your core channel breath. Please know a great book is Light on Pranayama by B.K.S. Iyengar. Just like you have Light on Yoga, he wrote a Light on Pranayama. And these are just the basic versions, or a basic version of these. Each one of these pranayamas has like a whole tree of options and variations within their matrices, respective matrices of how they're practiced. Thank you again. I hope you enjoy this video. Feel welcome to write me, richard.fabio@gmail.com. If you have any questions about anything I went over, practice safely. Always listen to your body as you pursue these pranayamas.